Alrighty, y'all, we are here about to go back into some JavaScript and Free Code Camp. And just in case if I get confused, I have W3 Schools here to teach me a couple of things. And I got the Odin Project, which I know they have some lessons depending on which ones you are in. So let's jump into 52. I ended up going a little bit further. I do need my pen that I can't seem to find. Okay. So here we go. So when you have a value that is explicitly written in your code, like the hello string in your function, it is considered to be hard-coded. So hard coding is a value inside a function, excuse me, which might not make it reusable as you like. So instead, you can define parameters for the function. Parameters are a special variable that are given a value when you call the function and can be used in your function to dynamically change the result of the function's code. So to add a parameter to your function, you need to add a variable name inside parentheses. For example, this demo function has a name parameter. So name sounds like a useful parameter, so go ahead and add it to your pad row function. So I'm assuming I'm adding it up here, and they want me to do name. Okay, so that was simple. But I am going to take some notes on what perimeter means. So like a perimeter function special. Well, actually, I could just take this note literally right here. So we're going to end up getting into that. Give me a second. All right, so we're on to step 53, and this is kind of something that Free Code Camp does that I think it wasn't confusing when it came to HTML and CSS, but it is very much confusing when it comes to JavaScript. So for instance, how before they mentioned hello should not be written, right? Or should not be written, but then literally in the last step, they had you write name in here and then not erase hello into the next step. And I think that can be confusing for people because, for instance, I could have thought because the last step passed and all they wanted me to do is change name, based on my notes, I'm going to write that, right? And I'm going to keep hello there. And then now is when I'm going to change hello so that can, you know what I'm saying? I'm probably confused with the way I'm saying it, but I feel like they do little things like that that mess up your notes because you wrote something a certain way and then you're just like, okay, hello. But like if I wasn't so used to Free Code Camp, I probably would have been like, what? Like what? Like I would have been confused, but I get it. Sometimes they could be saying stuff and I'm like, okay, I thought that wasn't supposed to happen, but they're like having me break the rules because it's a little different. And it's like, just say that like you're allowing me to do something that we should not be allowed to do, you know, because then it will confuse someone who doesn't know how to do it. And I think that's probably my biggest thing with this is literally that, literally just that in itself. But I ended up understanding this one. I didn't have to really understand. But luckily I was paying attention to the last one. It was saying we are going to remove hello, put basically change it with name. But why couldn't we do that? Why couldn't we do this in one step? If you get what I'm saying, it wouldn't have confused anyone or me if, for instance, if they just put it all in one step. But okay, that is beautiful. On to the next one. Step 54. We got, if you open your console again, you'll see that the pad row function is returning undefined. Even though you defined a return value, this is because the parameters need to be given a value when you call the function. Yeah, definitely going to need more of an explanation there. So when you pass a value to function call, that value is referred to as an argument. So here's an example of calling a demo function and passing Naomi as the argument for the name parameter. So pass your own name as the argument for the name parameter in your pad row call. Remember that your name is a string, so you will need to use quotes. So function demo. So then I would do call name, if that makes sense with the quotes. But my thing is, so they're saying, okay, I'm stupid because they're saying when you call the function. So it's like, do you mean call as in that's literally what that's called, or are you literally talking about my call variable? Like that was okay, whatever, not the point. So I don't know if I'm writing this inside a pad row or if I'm writing this down here. Now I understand that I would do call. From my understanding, we're gonna do call name. From my understanding. Now, if that's incorrect, my understanding is wrong. Okay, I figured it should be in there. Okay, so never mind. My bad. My bad, y'all. That was dumb. I mean, I figured. I just wanted to test that one first. All right, it's perfect. We're good. Not the point. So then that ends up passing name. So okay. So and then that's another thing too. Is like if we're talking about something up here, you kind of need to have all of it there for me to understand what you're saying. That's especially when it comes to this JavaScript. Because it's like, what do you mean I need to pass name into the call one? But then explain why it wouldn't work up here. I don't know. It's a little weird. I feel like with its wording that it makes me have to probably go to like something to explain it a little better. That's why, like I said, I have this here, and I'm also debating on doing courses on here. I heard somebody say it was a little bit more easier understanding it through the Odin project. Um, yeah, and it's kind of confusing. Like I don't think I could do any of this on my own. I mean, maybe actually. I think I'm someone who learns based on looking at the whole code. I just can't learn with it broken down. Alrighty, so before moving on, take a moment to review how functions work. So declare a function named add two numbers. I'm sure I could probably do that. This function should take two arguments and return the sum of those two arguments. This might be actually where I die. Your function should not use hard-coded values. An example is this. So this is an example of a hard-coded value function. So it might be. So don't do this. Right? It says should not use. Okay. An example of hard-coded value. So function returns a name. So probably don't look at that example. This function will return John Doe regardless of the arguments passed to the parameters, first name and last name. So John Doe is considered a hard-coded value. Declare a sum variable and assign it the value of calling your add two numbers function with 5, 10 as the arguments and log this. Okay. Number one, it says declare a sum variable. That's what we're doing. Now it says assign it a value calling your add two numbers function. So am I assigning it this value? Am I assigning it add two? Assign it the value of calling your add two numbers function with 5 and 10 as the arguments and log the sum. Am I assigning it this value? So we're going to assign it this value. Now, unless what they mean is, because you know how I was able to do up here. Oh wait, no, they got rid of. Oh, right here, like const, and then put it next to it. Is that what they want me to do? Like, can I put that all in the same one? So I'm supposed to do like add two values, and then I'm supposed to do. Well, no, because I think I had to declare pad row. Oh, I didn't. Well, I did a function in pad row. I think maybe they want me to do something like this. I think I'm thinking too much into it. Add two numbers function with 5 and 10 as the arguments. So I think I would do like 5 and 10. And then I think I'm closing that and then console. If that's not right, then we're probably gonna have to go through a whole nother thing here. Sum. Okay, I messed up. You should have a function called add two numbers, and your function add two numbers should have two parameters. Okay. Okay, so I probably would. Okay. Well, I'm confused with what the hell is my value supposed to be, so I guess we're just gonna leave it like that. Then we need to have a function, so we're gonna go function called add two numbers, right? And then you're gonna close that out with that, right? That's normally what you do. And then also gotta remember to close it out with those. So add two numbers, and then you're doing. So I'm assuming you're doing 5, 10. So I think I did it right. I just put it in the wrong spot. And then I'm supposed to return add two numbers, I think. You should have a function called add two numbers. I do. Am I spelling that wrong? Your function should have two parameters. Your function should return the sum of the two parameters, and your function should not return a hard-coded value. So that do. Wait. It's supposed to return my add two numbers, and then you close that, and then you come out, and then you do. Unless I'm supposed to declare after, like how we declared pad row later. But let me just do console. I know this is gonna take a minute. Console log call. I put console log call for what? So this would be console log sum. Close that. You should have a function called. Your function add two should have two parameters. What does that mean? Do they want me to have two quotes? You should have a function called. Okay. So it's not quotes. I feel like I'm so far off. A function called add two numbers. Your function should have two parameters. Your function should return the sum of the two parameters. I'm probably just going to look it up because I've been spending too much time here. Normally, they say if you spend like over too much time to just look it up, but it's irking me to my core that I'm confused. So declare a sum variable and assign it the value of calling your add two numbers. Why is it saying calling? Yeah, I'm gonna have to look this one up, y'all. It's stressful. Like, I'm pissed. I want to be able to get this on my own, man. That irked me so bad because I didn't even know you can put A and B. I thought no matter what, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm just that just discouraged me so bad. But at least I know where I need to work on. Declare writing a function. Is just something that I need to understand a little bit more. And at some point I did come to writing this here, and then I did come to writing this. So that does make me a little bit more happy. It just was necessarily writing the function I kept putting, y'all saw what the hell I was doing, man. And then I was trying to return sum or return add two numbers. It was like, no, I was supposed to put A and B, do A plus B. That's just. And then when it kept saying 15, they were the ones that told me the value 15. I'm like, it's supposed to equal 15? Like, I didn't. That was just annoying. But alright, deuces.